Hello, thanks for joining us at the Alchemy Lab, where we dissect, discuss and analyse all things digital transformation in the digital sphere.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Lab. I am Megan and I'm joined today by our super creative director, Paul.
Hello everybody.
Today we are having a good old gab about Twitter Blue. Twitter Blue is a new subscription service by Twitter, which is basically a paid version of the app. So I just wanted to pick Paul's brain and see kind of what his perspective is on paying for social media apps.
Straight off the cuff, I think it's a brilliant idea.
A brilliant idea?
Absolutely brilliant idea, yes. Like anything in life, yes, if to get something for free is fantastic, but there's always that element that, if you pay for something, you're going to get a better service, and I completely think that's the way it's going to go with Twitter.
Well, to be fair, Paul is always raging about Twitter. So let's talk about some of your kind of pressure points with Twitter.
Pressure points with Twitter. I'll tell you what I'll say are the good points. I know you've asked me the pressure
We've
points.
got them started now.
The good points is, for instance, I'm on the creative side, so this week Adobe did a great piece about all the new launch of new software, and it was all done by, well, they did it across all social channels, but the announcement was made on Twitter, so that's where I first saw it.
Yeah.
And I also can keep in contact with it now, so because things that you follow, both business and personal, I think it's great. The pressure points, it's just an absolute free. What people listening all know, it's free reign at the moment, and it needs control. People talked about, and again, I'm talking about general social media, like internet passports, if you like, to stop all this sort of trolling and things like that.
Yeah. And
be able to track people better, which is a good idea. But I think this is a good step towards it, because it kind of controls things better.
Yeah. So, but what do the people who need Twitter social media passports, what are they doing? What's the annoyance? Is it that your timeline is not relevant to what you want to see? Is it too many spammy accounts? Like, what's the nitty gritty of you the reason you would pay?
Me personally,
yeah.
I think if you got in, by paying, you would get more back. To be fair, I don't actually know what that would be.
Let's look at the features that Twitter Blue is offering.
Roll them out. Let's go through.
So it's not fully completely rolled out yet, but they are going to be charging £2.99. So it's actually not too expensive. Sorry, correction, it's £2.49 in the UK. And yeah, I think that's not too expensive.
Yeah, go on, carry on.
So what that's going to include, so far what they've released, because they're still very hush-hush about the features, but that's going to have bookmark folders, so you can save your content and organise it in a better way. So if you want to refer back to tweets or threads or movies or podcast links or that type of stuff, then you'll be able to find it easier. Now this is the point for me. Undo tweet.
Right, okay.
I think like people who drunk tweet, they're going to pay for this.
What's the difference between that and deleting a tweet then?
Undo tweet is like a typo. So say if you put something in a tweet but you don't want to remove it, it's giving you the ability to change. Say if you're going to say, oh, I feel rough, I've been out last night, blah blah blah, you could change that tweet to being like, feeling rough, I had some great drinks with some business partners. If you
good pros, yeah, good. If you put out something from a personal or business and it's incorrect, fantastic. I could see it throwing a few spanners in the works, i.e. somebody puts some controversial content out there, there's a backlash, they'll go back and change it. But
actually, that's a really, really good point, but I've just read on and it says that there's a customizable timer of up to 30 seconds that you can click undo before a tweet, reply or thread that you've sent to your timeline. So that means that if you're impulse tweeting, then you may be able to say, oh, actually I've missed something or I've not included the link, so that you can edit it in that time period.
Cool. All right.
That's quite cool actually, yeah. Because I think you're right there, if there was the ability to just completely change the tweet, you'd get a lot of shifty people being like, I never said that.
Yeah.
Whereas Twitter's like the king of holding people accountable.
Yeah.
but it will. A lot of people on Twitter who have been talking about Twitter Blue are saying that the undo button on Twitter will start a new era.
Yeah, I think it will.
The next feature is reader mode. So this provides a better reading experience by getting rid of the noise. So it's helping you keep up with long threads on Twitter by turning them into easy to read text so you can read all the latest content.
Cool.
I think that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I hate having to click through and read the same tweet. Through multiple.
What else we got? Because there's a couple of things I wouldn't mind being on there, but it depends if they're rolling them out.
Actually, so far that's it.
Is it?
That's it. Yeah.
So, does it remove sort of promoted content as well? Or
it doesn't say that, but it should, shouldn't it?
YouTube, obviously, you pay for YouTube, you don't get the adverts.
I had a look at how much you pay for YouTube though. So with YouTube you pay, I think it's $9.99. Oh, it's actually $11.99, and that's for a month.
Wow,
that's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, I'm just comparing it to the likes of Prime, Netflix, Disney. I mean, no other video streaming services are a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Are you getting more content, a broader diversity of content on YouTube? Probably, but
Netflix is only £6.
Yeah, I think that's quite steep. YouTube.
I think it's steep. It's very steep. But the reason that their price is so high is because they're removing that ad revenue. So I don't think Twitter is going to remove the promoted or sponsored posts with that price point. They may offer a slightly more expensive option that would allow you to remove that.
Okay, interesting. I think for me as a user, but again, both personal and business, if someone said to me, right, it's £2.50 a month to use Twitter, versus is it going to be you're either paying that or off, or is there going to be a free version?
I think it's just going to be the standard version or the Twitter Blue.
Right, so I would definitely myself jump to the paid version.
Would
because I think it's just getting rid of the noise and the negative sides of it. And to be fair, I don't personally see a huge amount of negativity on Twitter on the things that I follow and I engage with. Obviously, if you go down the trending things and the rabbit hole, as everyone's talking about, and the feeds, you see other things. But for me, genuinely, I don't see the too much negativity. But it is there. We know, and to be fair, a lot of the media, I think now is and all these hype that happens is channeled is through Twitter.
Yeah, no, it is. I think some businesses' markets have crashed. Stock prices will plummet. If someone sends a tweet, it has such an impact on on a wider scale.
Yeah.
So it is. I think a lot of people will be paying for the undo tweet option.
Yeah.
But even that 30 seconds is worth the $2.50.
Yeah. It definitely needs control, and I think that is perfect by putting that in there.
This option, let's play devil's advocate, but this option doesn't actually give you the ability to take away the spammy posts, the stuff that you don't want to see. It's not like how to streamline your stuff. So, how much would you pay for that option? A month?
Well, obviously as little as possible. I would think, again, comparing it to other services that you pay for, music streaming, video streaming, whatever it is, I think...
Give us a number, Paul, come on.
I think it should be included in that price, £2.50.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen next? You're going to have to pay £2.50 per social channel. So £2.50 for network, for Facebook and TikTok, and then all of a sudden you're paying all this money. Again, I do think it's a good thing in what they're doing it. I'd like to think if by charging people that there is a stricter sort of policing of it.
Yeah.
If there isn't, I think they're probably just putting money on to make money.
Yeah.
But I really hope with that £2.50 in a paid version, there is that element of control.
Well, Twitter, if you're listening,
you're
going to lose Paul as a customer if you don't.
Buy one tweet a year maybe.
So what you want to see is less promoted tweets.
Yeah, I think that's, if you're paying for it, I don't think you should be seeing promoted adverts.
But that's not in their current offering, so might have to give it a little miss. until they up the game.
Yeah, if they could probably just get back to me on that one. If they change that, then I'll gladly pay them.
So if you'd like to just drop Paul an email at
but I think if you're paying for a subscription, then I don't think you should be having ads everywhere.
Do you think this will trigger other apps to introduce paid versions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because that's now YouTube and Twitter going down that field. What's Mr. Zuckerberg going to do with Facebook and Instagram? But again, I am a big advocate of policing control.
Yeah.
I think it's getting out of hand. We need to, before we start talking about metaverses, which I'm sure is going to be down the line, before we start jumping and creating these, we need to sort out the content that's in the social media channels that are already in, because for me they're a bit of a Wild West at the moment, personally. I think
it feels like the big four are kind of investing more time into building the metaverse. Regulations are making that a safer space and leaving this behind.
Do you get what I mean? I don't think this is right yet. So maybe this little paid this step by Twitter is a step towards that. It might just be them making money, but I think maybe it's a nice little interim sort of, right, let's get this right, get this properly working.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see who actually signs up for Twitter Blue.
Yeah,
because I'm not.
No.
You may or may not.
Yeah, I feel like you need to. With anything, you need to give users more. I mean, the software that we use to create content is a paid subscription, and they release stuff, and we get more. You get more, and people need to know that they're paying for a service. That there's people
constantly
working,
improving.
Yeah, and not. Unfortunately, with social media, it's a lot of the time it's channeling money back into their pockets.
Yeah.
YouTube, big for that. Again, Facebook, it's always about them generating money. We know how much money they're making.
Yeah.
So is it them just trying to make money, or is it them actually giving people more? And that's the question with this Twitter.
An interesting point would be to be paid for using social media in terms of the data that they collect from you.
Yeah.
That's like the reversal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I use a web browser, certain web browser out there, and you get credits for giving your data away. And
you've got some good credits from that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, some freebies, free beers. It's all good. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what if they throw any more features in there.
Right, well, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Mm-hmm. I will definitely not be paying for Twitter Blue, but maybe we'll trial it for like a 30-day period and see what we think, and maybe do another podcast and review it.
Yeah.
We'll do it on our Alchemy one.
Yeah, but I won't be tweeting you. If I'm on a Blue account, I'm not going to tweet those down below me. You're not paying.
The regular peasant Twitter users.
Yeah, it's like business class and regular on a plane.
I love that. Well, that's all from us this week. Hope you've enjoyed our show. Let me know if you've actually signed up to have a Twitter Blue account. Let me know if you're for it or against it. If it's a total waste of money, or if it was worth every penny of that £2.49.
Tweet us.
Yeah, go on, tweet us at Alchemy. Don't forget it. Bye, guys.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you follow Alchemy on all social media platforms. Links are in the description of this podcast.